Hello, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to May. We start the month off with all planets direct, other than Pluto and Aquarius going retrograde on May 5th in your 12th house, but here to stay and will not go back into Capricorn in our lifetime. Mercury is out of shadow, and Venus will be out of shadow by the 26th in Aries, right when Saturn moves in, along with a newly entered Neptune in Aries for the next 14 years. Neptune is your ruler. Neptune will make a brief retrograde back into your first house for a little bit, and before going back into Aries, your second house of banking, self-worth, what we value, land and property, investments, assets by next January. Saturn will remain in Aries from May 26th until April 13th, 2028. So roughly 3 years. The next few weeks, though, Saturn will just kind of dip his toe into this energy in this house, and it will come back to your first house to make sure you have learned a lesson or completed a story or mastered something in the first house area. Saturn will retrograde on July 14th this summer, again, coming back to your first house. I think only like late degree Pisces will really be affected by that. Early degree Pisces really won't be affected at all. And the first house is your physical body, everything about you, your relationships, career, and home. And then we'll go back to settle into your Aries second house, November 28th, 2025. Saturn naturally rules your 11th Capricorn house of networking, friend groups, humanitarian groups, internet, and your 12th Aquarius house of past lives, spirituality, creativity, and music, prisons, isolation, debts, foreign lands, and ocean animals like whales, addictions. 12th house also covers foreign money and healing. The financial gains you'll be working hard to build can come in through friends, through networking, through creating a nonprofit business that helps others who are suffering. Maybe it will be one that provides resources, as our second house represents resources. Like maybe it's a business that gives socks, garments, food, etc. to children in need in your community, as an example. You'll be focused on building your security after you have had Saturn transiting your first, teaching you to clean up your act, manage your time better, take care of your health, get rid of distractions, or finding out what has kept you in a Neptune haze, as you had Neptune on your ascendant for so long. And Saturn crystallizes what it comes into contact with and can show us where we have our hardest work to do, but also can show the greatest reward once you put that work in. And it isn't here to punish. Saturn is here to make you a sovereign in your own life and to give you a reward once you have done work that is not just it requires effort, but is consistent. Consistency is the key. And that hard work could have been getting your health in order, your diet, getting rid of bad things for your body. It could have looked like releasing codependent relationships even and patterns that were hurting your health mentally and hopefully not physically, but sometimes these things, can come up. I hope not. Learning to rely on yourself to earn money and not so much on a partner's resources. And the gift now can be better health or feeling more in charge of your life and not someone else controlling it or being able to tell you what to do with your money, as an example. This story continues when he takes up residence in this second house, again, signifying a period of effort and sustained hard work to make a dream come true, to become more independent financially from a partner. Your first house ruler is Neptune, and now it's going into the second, which can look like you needing to do work that supports your life, that is meaningful, spiritual, that draws on your empathy, maybe even your psychic abilities and intuition, and ties in with your life purpose somehow. Saturn can restrict the area that he heads into. So maybe initially money you need to be budgeted around your bank account, or getting rid of unnecessary costs like, subscriptions or too many coffee shop drinks. And, maybe you start making coffee at home, for example. And the gift will be when he leaves in 3 years, if you have been disciplined, you will find out that you have more money than expected. You can have a more solid income or better tax structure with Saturn looking up at your 8th house, which rules taxes and debts. You can begin to clear away debts and minimize costs of living now and be rewarded for it when he moves on in 3 years. You can also start learning how to invest money or just handle your finances better overall. Maybe you can find an accountant as well who can help you put structures into place with regard to your income. For early degree Pisces, there's an outer planet triangle of support coming from Pluto up in the 12th house, Uranus getting ready to enter that 4th house of home and family. It's almost done with your 3rd house story, but it's getting ready to It's sitting right on that line of the 3rd and the 4th. It will head into the 4th by July 7th. And then there's a sextile over to Saturn and Neptune from Uranus and Pluto. So they're making sextile to Saturn and Neptune, your second. And this can maybe be like a family member, friend, sibling, helping you make changes in the second house area, like tipping you off to a good accountant who can help you restructure your finances better, your taxes better, or a tip or an idea for investments. Maybe there's someone who you will collaborate with on a business that you will want to begin, or some kind of creative work or project. You will be feeling the desire to have more freedom in the way that you earn money with Neptune moving into the second, but also having the ability to use, again, your psychic gifts, insights, or spiritual knowledge that you have gathered and can put together into a body of work that can be written, spoken, and sold. Also, the way that you place value on money and material assets will have a more profound meaning for you with such deep planets involved like Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune, but also Uranus. It could be the importance of maybe buying land to set up a land trust to protect habitats, or to leave a legacy of property for your children is another example. But initially, you're going to have to put in this hard work to build a structure around the security, to build up wealth and assets before you can leave, say, a day-to-day job. Maybe starting a small amount from each pay period to invest, and by the time it appreciates, you will have enough to leave a job that doesn't serve you, or isn't aligned with your higher purpose in life. You can also begin to take a spiritual practice and turn that into a business is another idea. And the startup costs can be low, especially if you do it from a home office. Like, let's say, YouTube or video is the medium to produce videos. There's really no cost. You rule videography and the visual arts, camera, film, etc. And you also have Rahu, the north node of fate, sitting in your first house now until July 2026, driving you with a almost insatiable hunger to make changes to your overall, appearance, body, life overall. You're hearing this siren call that you're answering, especially, pertaining to the work that you do and how you earn money. But also your self-worth. You could be getting dental work done as well with Saturn here, or making changes to your face, especially if Saturn through the 1st started showing that first wrinkle, or drier skin, gray hair, creaky bones, arthritis. You could be changing these things now with only the north node sitting here unimpeded by Saturn. Also, when we have Saturn transit house like the 2nd, you need to take good care of your teeth. Saturn rules, bones, knees, teeth. Get your cleanings, go to your dentist, floss, fluoride treatments. You can do things like whiten your teeth. In Vedic astrology, they believe if you had money problems, fix your teeth, which in a way makes sense, because if your teeth look good, you're less likely to feel self-conscious. And also, mouth, teeth are covered by the 2nd house, right? But you'll feel self-conscious when you speak, which can have a knock-on effect to our esteem, and ultimately how we value and feel about ourselves can affect our income over time, right? Lastly, I see the possibility to move abroad or even purchase a second home over the next few years while Uranus is transiting the 4th house for the next 7 years, starting this July. Uranus in the home zone in a dual sign Gemini can show a unique home situation as well. Maybe like spending... Sorry, I just had my kiddo interrupt. Where was I? Okay, so it can be like a unique situation, like spending an amount of time in one country, maybe where you own a house or rent, and then time spent somewhere else where, you take up residence another part of the year. You can even generate money from these purchases, or turn a property into an Airbnb that you rent out when you're not living there, so you can spend the other portion of time traveling, but that Airbnb can pay for your travels. I also see a move because you have Pluto ruling your 9th house of distant lands, now in another distant land house, the 12th house. The 12th house also rules foreign lands, and it's making aspects to your 4th house with Uranus heading there by July. But there's already a trine in effect at the end degrees of Taurus, beginning degrees of Gemini. This will be a welcome change, and even possibly to a place that can finally feel like home for you, Pisces. All right, take care, and we will see you in June.